Hey everyone, this is Solomon SK for Whiskey and RPGs, and I hope you guys are staying warm. But let's just jump right into it. We got a lot to talk about. Cheers, everyone. I know this is going to excite a lot of weebs, or fans of this awesome channel. If you don't know about Naruto Slugfest, it's a mobile open-world 3D action MMORPG set in, obviously, the Naruto universe. According to MMOculture.com, pre-register for the closed beta has begun yesterday, but do remember that the beta is for Southeastern Asia and Australian markets. This includes, obviously, Australia, but also Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and the Philippines. If you live in one of those countries or you have your VPN ready, the URL is Naruto Slugfest TN as in Nancy.com. I'll also post a link in the description below. So just a heads up, I ended up registering myself last night. I didn't use a VPN, but I did have to input my phone number, and I think that's probably how they're going to select people, maybe, I don't know. By the way, my only gripe with Naruto is that ninjas are not supposed to be wearing orange. It kind of defeats the purpose of being a ninja, and while looking for pictures for crappy ninjas to show to prove my point, guess what I found? Yeah, ninja LED light up swords, because that's a thing. Why? Because screw you, that's why. Another MMO title going to the mobile market is Eve Chaos. According to MMORPG.com, the open beta for this game went live yesterday and will be available for both Android and the iOS. The game wasn't entirely done by CCP alone. They did have help from another company called NetEase, and if you forgot who NetEase was, let me remind you.
Current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
I'll admit, that never gets old. That's right, NetEase is the company who is developing Diablo Immortal, the mobile version of Diablo that no one asked for, although business-wise, I have to admit, it makes a lot of sense. Just a heads up, although Eve Echoes will share the same assets in the world as Eve for the PC, it will actually be an alternate universe of New Eden, so they don't even share the same timeline. But for those of us who always wanted to play Eve but didn't because of the steep learning curve, or you're just somebody who likes to play games in the beginning at the launches, this could be the perfect time to jump in and be part of the Eve community. Slow and steady wins the race, am I right? There's a strong indication that Lost Ark may finally be coming to the North American and even European shores. It was brought to our attention from MMOculture.com, and they discovered a job posting from Smilegate's website, more specifically their recruiting board. The jobs available included a project manager that can, quote, speak, write, and communicate effectively in English for business activities. Other hopeful traits include overseas game launch experience, a good understanding of MMO RPG titles, and performing market research analysis, end quote. There's also a strong suggestion that Lost Ark may be arriving to the consoles as well. MMO Culture also noted that Smilegate is looking for someone with, quote, experience on Unreal Engine 3 and 4, along with console project and online game development chops. Preferential treatment will be given to candidates whom launch a console project before and worked on a multi-platform game engine, end quote. Smilegate is also looking for overseas planner that can speak both English and Chinese fluently. Who knows how long it'll take for Smilegate to put this all together, assuming this really is for a Western release of Lost Ark. I mean, it could be for an entirely new game as well. Nothing has been confirmed, but still within the realm of possibilities. This one touches my heart. It's not the prettiest RPG, nor is it the most sophisticated. But something about this, the way it looks, the way it feels, that puts me back to my childhood days. And I'm hoping some of you guys who are watching this feel that same sort of nostalgia too. This title was brought to my attention from Chris Neal over at MassivelyOP.com. Now, Curious Expedition was released back in 2016. but it's in today's news because it had an update called Rivals, making this normally single-player game into, quote, massively multiplayer game, end quote. According to their official Steam page, it says, explore worlds that are up to 10,000 times larger than the original game, discover new regions, and have your name and portrait remembered for all other players to see. Acquire prestigious badges with every golden pyramid you discover. Equip your trek with over 140 expedition crates to customize your playstyle and experiment with different strategies. It has 19th century aesthetics, and because of this, the reason why it feels so nostalgic is because it kind of reminds me of the Oregon Trail. And just a heads up, there's also a Curious Expedition 2 closed alpha test that you can sign up for from their official website. I'll certainly be making a first impressions video about this game, even though it's 5 years old. It's little gems you find like this that makes me excited about doing this kind of content. Heading on back over to Eve. And again, this comes from Chris Neal over at massivelyop.com. And Eve Online is getting a huge update in the coming weeks. Did I say huge? I mean huge. Wow. My favorite is probably the snowball fights between ships because hashtag YOLO. I may be saying that unironically though.
Stop it. Get some help.
Anyways, Chapter 2 of the Invasion expansion will introduce a new dreadnought called the... I'm not going to even try to attempt that. It also includes weapons with that same name as well, and they will also be adding a bunch of new PvE content. Visuals for the warp tunnels will also be improved, new wallet UI, shareable bookmarks, new ship skins, the list goes on and on and on. You could definitely check out the details from their official YouTube page. There's going to be a lot more Christmas related content coming for various MMOs and online RPGs. The first one that comes to note is from PlanetSide 2. It's called 31 Days of Araximus. I think that's how you say it. Where 31 days of deals will be featured, including faction, camo, and bundles. Astelia Online received a new update today, and in this update, a new zone was added called Meodian Mine. Hope I'm saying that right. Where, quote, max level players will be able to participate in a variety of activities, rewarding unique class specific treasures that can be upgraded with materials earned within the mines, along with tokens that can be redeemed for high level consumables, end quote. New quests at the starting area has been added as well as the ability to have 3 servant Asteels at the ready to call at all times. Skyforge is a free-to-play MMORPG available for the Steam platform and consoles. It's published by My.Games, and some of their works include Conqueror's Blade, Revelation, Armored Warfare, and Outlaws Online. I think that, man, there's a lot of names I don't know how to pronounce. All free-to-play titles, by the way. The reason why I mention this is because I never really heard of Skyforge, and it's good to see where they are and what kind of credentials they have. On December 17th, the game will be getting a new expansion called Rock and Metal, which involves a new underground dungeon and a new Elder God form. Now, this is really interesting, but Batmud is now on Steam. I think I've only played a text-based RPG such as this once in my life when I was about maybe 5 years old at my old elementary school. Those old musty Macintosh computers with floppy disk drives, you know the one I'm talking about? They were turning into this beige yellow color over time. But yeah, the game was created back in 1990 and it still has an audience to this day. God willing, I'll be 90 years old and still be able to play video games, and I'll be playing something like World of Warcraft and have people be just in utter shock the same way people feel about Batmud today. I don't know. So we head on over to Gematsu.com, and there seems to be some confirmation for the Resident Evil 3 or Biohazard 3 remake, along with another game called Resident Evil Resistance, or again, Biohazard Resistance. Cover art were discovered in Sony's servers, as you can see here. If it's been too long to remember, that big bad giant in the top there is Nemesis, who was created to hunt down all STARS members, Special Tactics and Rescue Service for Raccoon City, which Jill Valentine belonged to, and that's her down there. And you also have Carlos behind her, who belongs to Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service. Resident Evil Resistance is being described as a 4 versus 1 multiplayer game. For me personally, it kind of reminds me of Friday the 13th, where one person is playing Jason to hunt down all the other players. That's the game that comes into mind. Anyways, guys, that does it for today's MMO and RPG news. My name's Solomon SK, and I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out my channel. If you haven't done so, please consider leaving a subscription and a like. It does help with the algorithms, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers, everyone.